Welcome, fellow lovers of ghost stories, to the second episode in the ongoing How the Word Became Bad series. I hope you enjoyed the first episode and learned valuable lessons from the storyline. Without any ado, let's dive right into this episode as we look at the rise of a corrupt leader, with a major lesson in this second part bordering on the price of ambition. Come along. The village of Tutu was a small and beautiful African community that was surrounded by green hills and mountains. The people were kind and hardworking, but life in the village was very difficult. The roads were bad, the schools had no books, and the clinic had no medicine. For many years, the leaders in Tutu had failed to improve the village. They only cared about themselves and stole money meant for the people. Then came Akua, a young woman full of energy and dreams. She had grown up in Tutu, and she understood the struggles of the villagers. Akua had gone to the city to get an education and had returned with a big vision to make Tutu a better place. Her words were powerful, and her actions showed she cared deeply for her people. When the time came to choose a new leader, everyone agreed that Akua should be their chief. The villagers believed in her and thought she would finally bring the changes they had been longing for. Akua became the youngest chief in Tutu's history, and their entire village celebrated a victory with song and dances. As the new chief, Akua started her work with great enthusiasm. She held meetings with the villagers, asking them what they needed the most. People talked about schools, a proper hospital, and clean water. Akua promised to make these things happen. She was determined to prove that she could be different from the corrupt leaders of the past. Soon, Akua was able to get some money from the government and from donors who wanted to help Tutu. She used the funds to begin building a school and a hospital. Bulldozers came to clear the land, and workers started construction. Everyone in the village was happy and excited, singing praises of Akua. Abel, an elder in the village and Akua's mentor, was especially proud of her. "Remember, Akua," he told her one day, "leadership is a big responsibility. You must always do what is right for the people." Akua smiled and nodded. She believed she was on the right path. But Akua soon realized that being a leader was not easy as she thought. Contractors working on the school and hospital started asking for extra payment, saying they wouldn't finish the work unless they were paid under the table. This confused Akua. She wanted to do things the right way, but she also didn't want the projects to stop. One of her advisors, Kwame, came to her with a suggestion. "Chief Akua," Kwame said, lowering his voice, "this is how things are done. If you want the work to continue, you will need to pay them something extra. Think of it as helping the projects move forward." Akua hesitated. "But Kwame, the money belongs to the people. Isn't this stealing?" Kwame shook his head. "It's not stealing. It's just how the system works. The villagers won't care as long as the work gets done." After thinking about it, Akua gave in. "The village comes first," she told herself, trying to justify her decision. This small compromise was the beginning of a series of bad decisions. Over time, Akua became more comfortable with doing things the wrong way. She began to approve payments for things that were not necessary, and her advisors encouraged her to take even bigger risks. As the months went by, Akua's leadership started to look very different. She began hosting expensive parties and began traveling to other countries for meetings that weren't even needed. The projects in Tutu slowed down because the money meant for them was being spent on Akua's new lifestyle. Villagers started to notice the delays and became frustrated. They whispered among themselves, wondering if Akua had become just like the other leaders before her. One evening, during a meeting with the villagers, Abel stood up. His voice was filled with sadness as he addressed Akua directly. "Akua," he said, "we trusted you. You promised us schools, hospitals, and clean waters. But the projects are not finished. What is happening?" Akua avoided his eyes. "These things take time," she said defensively. "You need to be patient." The villagers didn't believe her. They began to lose faith in the woman they had once admired. What Kwame didn't know was that Kwame, her trusted advisor, had been secretly collecting evidence of her wrongdoings. When investigative journalists came to the village to look into the delays, Kwame saw a chance to protect himself. He gave the journalists proof of Akua's corruption, bank statements, fake contracts, and recordings of conversations. The news spread quickly. On TV and radios, reporters showed pictures of Akua at fancy parties, while the projects in Tutu remained unfinished. The villagers were outraged. They gathered in the town square, shouting for her to step down as chief. Akua was shocked and betrayed. She couldn't believe that Kwame, the person she had trusted the most, had exposed her. That night, Akua sat alone in a mansion. She felt heavy with guilt and regret. Her once beautiful dream of changing Tutu had turned into a nightmare. Abel came to visit her. Seeing her broken and ashamed, he placed a hand on her shoulder. "Akua," he said softly, "you had a good heart, but you let greed and fear take control. The people needed a leader and you let them down." Akua looked at him, tears streaming down her face. "Abel, I wanted to do good things for Tutu, but the system was too strong. I didn't know how to fight it." Abel sighed. "The world is a hard place, Akua, but we always have a choice. You made the wrong ones. Now you must face the consequences." The next day, Akua prepared to resign. She wanted to apologize to the villagers and take responsibility for her actions. But before she could, more shocking news reached Tutu. Kwame had run away with millions of the villagers' funds. The betrayal was too much for Akua to bear. That evening, alone in a room, Akua wrote a letter. She admitted all her mistakes and explained how she had lost her way. "I wanted to change the world," she wrote, "but the world changed me. I became everything I once hated." The next morning, Akua's lifeless body was found in her home. She had taken her own life, unable to live with the guilt. The people of Tutu mourned Akua deeply. They remembered her as a young woman who had once wanted to do great things but had been destroyed by greed and bad choices. Her story became a warning to others about the dangers of corruption and the pressures of leadership. Akua's rise and fall showed how the world often pushes good people to make bad decisions. In the end, her life was a painful reminder that integrity is hard to keep in a corrupt system, but losing it comes at a great cost. And with that, we've come to the end of the second episode, The Rise of a Corrupt Leader, The Price of Ambition. I hope you have picked a valuable lesson from this episode. Thank you for watching to the very end. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please kindly do that so that you can be notified every time we drop a video. Thank you once again. While we await the next episode, kindly share your thoughts on this video in the comment section. Bye for now.